this is Sean and Tony from DMBrewCrew, and we're here to make your homebrew campaign the best that it could possibly be.
That was a good intro.
Yeah, that was good?
That's good.
Okay.
But he's right. We're here to make your campaign the best it could possibly be. And today we're going to do another powwow, right?
Yeah, and this is not really a problematic one. It's more so one that'll help you create those memorable NPCs. And they're an important part of your campaign. It's not just creating a good storyline and creating good combat encounters. It's also creating those characters that your party is looking forward to interacting with.
That's true. Whether they love or they hate them, because I've got a few that my players hate. It is great to actually have set, created NPCs that people will remember. That's the most important thing, is that they remember them. Mm-hmm. So I can think of a few of them off the top of my head that we've done, that I've done in my campaigns. I'm sure you can think of a few of them.
Yeah. Just as an example, in the current campaign that I do for one of my groups, I have this dark elf rogue. His name is Vikram Aldevar, and
Yeah, some of our friendly players are probably looking at this going, oh my god, it's But it's a very awesome character.
Yeah, thank you. And it's funny because when you're kind of, creating characters and you're writing your sessions, a lot of the time you're going to be pulling inspiration from things that you already know.
This is true.
The character of Vikram just happened to pull a lot of inspiration from Prince Lotor from Voltron Legendary Defender.
Yeah, see.
And there's nothing wrong with pulling characteristics and things from other content. You can always, emulate it in your own way.
Emulating is great just to make it obvious. That's the whole point. I mean, if you can steal from anything as long as you're quiet about it. That's the whole point.
Exactly.
Right? So, you don't just come in and say, okay, well, it's this character from here, or what have you. Stupid thing. I'm sure some of my players that are watching this would remember some of these things, like the cabbage guy that
yes.
we had.
I remember the cabbage guy. And I played this very good character, so I had to listen to all this.
It was an interesting thing. It was just this guy that was taking them from one town to the next on his cabbage cart. And the players sat in the back with the cabbage, and the entire time he was going on and on about cabbages and how great cabbages are. And a lot of my players were like, oh my god, do we really have to listen to this? I based that one off the Pepperidge Farm commercials,
yeah.
But people didn't realize that, so it was a lot of fun. The great thing about cabbages is...
And then that goes for about half an hour.
Yeah, but the cool thing is that I could say cabbage guy to any of my players now, and they go, oh god, is that guy still alive? And they know who he is.
Yeah, and if that's not what you're looking for, if you're looking for, like a character that's going to stick around, add depth. Going back to my example with Vikram, initially he was just this loner, dark elf rogue, very stereotypical kind of character. As they got to know him and as they spent more time, they learned more. When they visited him at home, they saw him in his casual clothing. They found out that he likes to garden.
Yeah.
He likes to cook breakfast for people. And it's things like this, like just adding more details to your characters and your NPCs makes them just more memorable. It makes your encounters with the players even that more enjoyable too.
And your world that much more alive. Mm-hmm. That's the cool thing about it, is if you actually just spend a little bit of time and add a little bit just at night, writing down things that you think they would like or things that they would be. You take a base character. One of the things I love to do about it, even though they're never going to see combat or whatever, I make a character sheet for them. I sit there and I think about it and go, okay, well, how intelligent is this person? Mm-hmm. Is he smart? Is he handsome? Is he charismatic?
Yeah.
And you really kind of hash that out. If he was to be a player, would we maybe make him a cleric, or he'd be more the rogue type? And you just you make these sheets for them. And you get all these different things, and it helps to add in their personality traits and things like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I think kind of building that sheet is a great way to kind of get them started. Putting little things in an inventory, just that can create its own story there.
Absolutely.
And then one other thing that also helps is if you can get good names for these characters as well.
Yes, and part of that goes to this little book here, Xanathar's Guide to Everything. You can pick it up online at DMBrewCrew.com. Shameless plug. But at the same time, there is a great section in the back of this book that helps you name characters with it. Mm-hmm. I can't tell you how many times that you're sitting there and your characters will ask you this. Even if it's the most lowly shopkeep or whatever, they will sit there. You'll sit there and go, okay, the shopkeep says that'll be 12 gold. And they go, what's his name?
Yes.
And
players are compelled to always ask.
But you're always caught flat-footed.
Yeah, yeah. And you can always get around this. Like you said that you prepare a list.
Yes.
Yeah.
The easy way to do that is you just prepare a list of names ahead of time and just go down the list as you go. And it's like, his name is Salazar.
Right.
Oh, okay. And then they go, what's his wife's name? And you go, I don't know, Phyllis. You know, you keep going with it. But the more you add to those characters and the more depth you add to them, the more rich your world becomes. And you sit there and people tend to remember it. I've had players want to write stories about the world that we're in just because of some of the characters that they remember.
Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes the best characters that turn into these lovable NPCs are the ones that are completely on accident. I've had characters that never really even mattered. I guess I'll bring up another example. I have the party ran into this poor man in a cave, and originally I designed for him to be killed. They didn't do that. They found out that he was a murderer in the past, but they sympathized for him, and he was the party's pack mule, and he talked with this really funny voice and all that, and he always asked for food, and
it's funny you say that because the player that I play in his campaign with it kind of took advantage of this poor guy. And he would hold back rations and food to this guy just to get this guy to do his bidding, and he's just kind of become like my little sidekick at this point, and I love it. And you know what the thing is like we'll pull him in out of nowhere. Like just the last campaign, he showed up out of nowhere, and it was nice to have that memorable thing. We kind of had this rule in your campaign where we have you take an NPC out, like you can only have really one NPC with your party at a time. So to reconnect with Malnus after several weeks, months even, of playing without him there was kind of cool. But that's all because of the effort that Sean put into the character. And that's all you got to do, is you just got to put a little bit more into it.
Yeah, definitely. Whether it's developing their character, nailing the voice, getting the right name, it's not that hard to make these memorable characters. And in the long run, when they come back or whenever you need them again, they're just going to help feed your campaign and make an even better story for you and your players.
Absolutely. Well, that's going to wrap it up for this week's little DM Pow-Wow. I'm glad that you decided to join us this time. You can always write to us at DMBrewCrew@gmail.com. That's going to be right there.
Just down below,
there.
yeah.
Good. Or you may subscribe. That should be right there. And remember, the best campaigns are always the ones that are homebrewed and put a lot of effort into them. So, until next time,
keep brewing.